America's opioid epidemic is getting worse. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, fatality rates from drug overdoses have continued to rise across the country. Philadelphia is now facing an increasingly dire problem. Chris Jones sent this report from Kensington, one of the city's worst-hit neighborhoods.
Kensington Avenue is home to hundreds of people buying, selling and using drugs, earning it a reputation as one of America's biggest open-air drug markets.
This was about a month before I actually got sober, and my mom told me.
Megan Cohen spent much of her mid-20s there. She began drinking whilst at college before moving onto hard drugs. That quickly spiraled into a serious addiction that changed her life.
Things that I said that I was never going to do, like steal from my mom, those things started happening. And then it was like, oh, I'll never sell drugs, or I'm never going to do heroin, or I'm never going to smoke crack. And then those things happened.
Megan says she went through the recovery process more than 70 times before getting sober, but for many people that never happens. 1,276 people died as a result of a drug overdose in Philadelphia in 2021, the most ever recorded by the city in 1 year. Non-profit organisation Prevention Point has been helping drug users in the city for 3 decades. It's headed by José Benitez, and he says the situation in Kensington is at a crisis point.
That Kensington is a community. It's a community of families, right, trying to raise their kids in the middle of one of the most devastating crises that we've seen, right? Opioid use disorder, right, and overdose deaths account for over 1,200 people dying a year on average in Philadelphia, right? And most of that happens here in Kensington.
One of the services Prevention Point offers is a needle exchange program, providing clean needles to replace old, used ones, which, if reused, can transmit HIV, hepatitis and other serious infections. Not everyone agrees with programs like this. Some say they do nothing to help people get off drugs. Benitez calls them a practical solution.
An 8-cent syringe can save us millions of dollars in taxpayer money. And still, in 2022, that syringe exchange program is still controversial.
Several outreach efforts in Kensington aim to help drug abusers. Some of them, like the Grace Project, are run by people in recovery. Behind me is one of its programs. Every Thursday, Megan and a group of volunteers gather, no matter the weather, to provide free food, water, health products and many other sanitary items to the people here on Kensington Avenue, the people who need help the most. High on the list of those key medical supplies is naloxone. It's a rapid-acting drug that can reverse the effects of an opioid overdose. The maker of Narcan, a nasal spray version of the drug, says it expects government approval for over-the-counter sales in the US by spring. But you never need a prescription for kindness, which Megan Cohen says is important to the people she sees here in Kensington every day.
People aren't used to other people wanting to actually talk to them. So it's just, it makes them feel like they're cared about still, when they're so used to people looking down on them. And like when I was out here, I felt like I was like an insect. I didn't matter to anybody. So anytime people showed me kindness, it meant a lot. And it was what ultimately led to me getting off the street. And we're kind of trying to recreate that.
In September, the Biden administration announced an extra $1.5 billion in funding to fight the opioid epidemic across America. The aim is to give people trapped in places like Kensington Avenue a way to unlock a brighter future, one without addiction. Chris Jones, CGTN, Philadelphia.